that he had called me tonight. But he was very gracious, as we knew he would be. And I was certainly willing to compliment him. I want to thank him for running a civil and a good and a decent campaign. Those of us, the two of us, who finished at the top, ran a campaign with a level of civility, without attacking each other. And even though I'd like for the outcome to be just a little different on the top and in the second place, I had rather be where I am and have done it with honor than to have won with the dishonor of getting there by attacking somebody else. Been willing to run with me, and grateful for the campaign that he has run as well. Well, obviously tonight, we wanted to come here and to declare a South Carolina victory. We got awful close. Unfortunately, in politics, close doesn't count for the first spot. But it does count. And the reason that I want to encourage you tonight is to remind you that politics, and particularly this year, more than perhaps any other, this is not an event. It is a process. And the process is far, far from over. Obviously, I'm deeply grateful to our South Carolina team, working their hearts out. To Mike Campbell, our state chairman, his wonderful mother, Iris Campbell. I thank you so much. My friend, former Governor David Beasley, and his wife, Mary Wood, once again, stuck his neck out and just was able to campaign with me all over this country and here in South Carolina. And I just want to thank him also for jumping in, and we'll look forward to having him on the and for his willingness to endorse us this week. And in many ways, I believe that we will leave South Carolina not only with incredible numbers of friends, but I believe with the renewed unity in the Republican Party of South Carolina, bringing these two men, Mike Campbell and Andre Bauer, to the same stage. Both of them have an incredibly great future, as does South Carolina, a most wonderful state. These are the people that, honestly, I don't know how many weeks a person can go without sleep, but they're going to test the absolute outer limits of it before this campaign is over. Most campaigns have 3 people to 1 that we have on our staff. And they have just worked, not with complaint, but with a commitment that I've never seen ever. And then the volunteers, many of you have come here from all over America at your own expense. It's incredible. We've had people that literally have made phone calls for us, some of whom are in Europe. And they've used their free cell phone weekend minutes to make calls back to South Carolina and encourage people. Let me just say that tonight is not a time to start asking, what if? It's a time to start talking about what now. And we're not going to sit around and second guess, well, what if we had done it? What if? No, you know what? I feel like in our effort here, we gave everything we had. We left it all in the field. I don't want anyone who worked in this campaign, from our volunteers to our staff, to feel anything other than an extraordinary sense of pride and also a sense of just sheer joy that we got as far as we did when nobody thought it was even possible. Let me tell you and remind you how we got here. It wasn't because we had the most money, the most consultants, the most staff. the most resources, the most polls, the most focus groups. Here's what we had. What we had was we had a message that has connected and continues to connect with people all over this country who have feared that they have been forgotten and have become invisible to many political people. And they fear that maybe they matter just as much, because what they really want is they want a government that will take the heavy burden of taxation off their backs. They want a government that will start thinking about how much money it's spending and stop it. And finally start acting with some level of sanity when it comes to spending the very dollars they've taken from us. People want a government that recognizes that mothers and fathers really do raise better children than governments do. And they want a government that leaves them alone so they can raise their children as they should. They want a government who will finally build a fence, secure our borders, and confront the issue, not just of illegal immigration, but confront the greater issue that is plaguing so many people in South Carolina and the rest of America, and that is the fear that tomorrow they will lose their jobs and not be able to put food on their table and clothes on their kids' backs. And for every person out there who is serving the food and driving the trucks and who's sitting in the front of the cabs and not the back seat, for the ones who are on the lines of the factories and climbing up and down the ladders, carrying paint buckets in their hands and hammers. We want to be a campaign that says there is room in the Republican Party for you, and in fact, the Republican Party is all about making sure that everybody in this country has the best kind of future. And that message and that mission is far from over tonight. And that's why I don't want us to leave here saying, well, the game is ended. No, we just finished one of the quarters of play.
That's right.
My dear friend Cleve McClary, who I love to quote on occasions like this, is a South Carolinian. I love what he says. He says, I've never lost at anything I've ever done. Sometimes the game ends before I get finished playing. I didn't lose tonight. The game ended a little early for us. But I also want you to know this. The path to the White House is not ending here tonight.
Yeah!
And tomorrow, after a little bit of sleep, we wake up to fight the battle yet again and yet again. And I still believe a year from now, all of you that have helped us get there will be in Washington for the inauguration of the It's tough to run for office. The only thing more difficult than running for office is to be married to the guy who does. And she's been willing and ready and has given her all and has never flinched in her undying support for what we're about.
Yeah.
And I want to say to every one of you how much we love you, how much we thank you. The people of South Carolina have been magnificent to us. Your hospitality, your warmth, your support, your encouragement, the enthusiasm, and everything you've done for us. I just cannot begin to tell you what a deep and wonderful impression you've left with us. Even if we didn't come in first in the results tonight, you have come in first in our hearts by giving us the kind of wonderful experience that everybody in life ought to just once be able to have. I'm even wearing the South Carolina.